Wow, 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 wow. That was a Tottenham Hotspur performance that I think we can all be proud and delighted with. Beating Everton 4-0 on our return to North London, our first home game of the season, putting the disappointment of the Leicester draw behind us, bouncing back, every single player on the pitch having a phenomenal game and just giving us some joy in this pouring rain, this weather, and making it a brilliant weekend. It's so crazy how much Tottenham affects my mood across the entire weekend. And when they win comfortably and put in a dominant performance, it just the feeling and the what's the word that I'm looking for? The levels that I hit after a Tottenham win are just there's nothing like it. But yeah, Tottenham 4, Everton 0. An immaculate performance from Tottenham, a brilliant setup by Ange Postecoglou. This is my instant match reaction. These are my key takeaways from the game. If you are new around here, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel as Spurs finally get off the mark with their first Premier League win of the season, hopefully allowing us to kick on and giving us some much needed confidence after that drab draw in the Midlands on Monday night. So where to start? Oh, Jesus. I don't really know where to start. Look, this video is going to be less edited than my usual ones that go out because I want to give you my raw reaction and my feelings to that Tottenham game. I don't want to cut it every 2 seconds and, add loads of stuff in post edit. I want to just sit here and talk to you guys about that game, how much I loved it and what was so good about the performance, because there was so much to love, so much to admire. And I think the first thing that we need to address and talk about is that we desperately needed a reaction to the Leicester game, right? We were all disappointed, we were all upset with what happened at the King Power Stadium on Monday after being so dominant in the first half. To go 1-0 up and then to take our foot off the gas, get hit on the counter-attack, concede a goal to Jamie Vardy, no one less than Jamie Vardy, is just, I think it brought us all the way back down to earth, back to reality after, you get so positive and you hype the team up over the summer. Can't wait to see what the signings are going to do. I can't wait to see how Ange has evolved and brought us forward tactically over the summer. To then go and get the result that we did on the first game of the season was a bit disappointing, albeit it was, it's very difficult to judge on the first game of the season. Today, well, I'm recording this today, sorry if you're not watching this on the Saturday, but the win against Everton was just, if we could watch that every single week from Tottenham, I would be such a happy man. I would be so happy. It was great, start to finish. I think we had a 10-minute sort of spell where Everton came back into it towards the end of the first half, but other than that, it was a brilliant performance. Every single player on the pitch, whether they started or came on as a sub, reacted amazingly well to that result on Monday night. And that's what we needed. We needed it. We needed the likes of Heung-min Son to bounce back after not really being involved. We needed the likes of Romero to have a good game, who put in an arguably man of the match performance, by the way. Vicario was really good command in his box against a dangerous set-piece team. Odegaard looked fantastic in his first start for the club. Kulusevski came in. Everyone. I can't go through every single player in this video because I'll be here for hours talking about it, but it was amazing. And there is one player that I want to talk about and highlight at the start of this, going through the key takeaways from the game, and that is Yves Bissouma. Look, we all know that Yves Bissouma, what he did was wrong. What he did was just unacceptable. And Ange Postecoglou, I think, handled it completely the right way, giving him that suspension, taking him away from the team, and making him feel like he has done something wrong, essentially. Because I feel like a lot of managers would maybe have brushed it under the carpet and say it's not an issue for them to deal with. But Ange took it very personally, was very public in what he said about the situation, and that Bissouma needs to earn that trust back. And I think he's taken a step towards doing that with the performance that he put in on the pitch for Tottenham today. He was wonderful in every aspect, and you could see in the difference in how we played through the midfield that he was missed on Monday night. He picked the ball up in such tight areas of the pitch in the midfield, and he's able to get his foot on the ball, turn or drop a shoulder, go past his man, pick out the dangerous passes. And we certainly lacked that, I think, on Monday. Rodrigo Bentancur can do an okay job at the Yves Bissouma sort of more number 6, deeper role. But when Yves Bissouma is at his top level and at his best, there are not many better midfielders in the league than him. We all remember the last season he had for Brighton, the reason that we bought him a few summers ago. He was immense, absolutely immense. And he does show glimpses of that in a Tottenham shirt. And I think he got quite close to that level today. His goal to open the scoring was sensational. I think it was his first goal for Tottenham. He just hit it so sweetly on the edge of the box. Kulusevski doing some brilliant work to get into the box, laying Bissouma off on the edge, and he just rifles it home, curling away from the goalkeeper, and one of those beautiful strikes that just settles in off the crossbar, hits the roof of the net. And yeah, his celebration said it all, really. Giving the little prayer sign to the Tottenham fans, giving them the heart as well, and just pointing to the badge, doing everything right to try and get the fans back on his side. And they were chanting his name and chanting Yeddo, stuff like that after he scored as well. So a really, really positive, impressive game from Yves Bissouma, and it's just a great step to show the manager that he is genuinely sorry about what happened with the whole laughing gas incident, and that hopefully it can now be put behind us and move on. Because we have some tough games coming up: Newcastle, Arsenal, Man United, West Ham, all on the horizon, and we're going to need our squad. We're going to need Yves Bissouma. We're going to need Yves Bissouma at his best, and hopefully we now have him, because that was a brilliant performance. Another key takeaway was that the defence was so much better this week. Look, I'm not going to sit and pretend that Everton are going to give us 1,000,001 problems across the game, because they're not, okay? I'm aware that they are one of the weaker teams in the Premier League, but so are Leicester. It's hit and miss, isn't it? It's a very difficult one to judge. Calvert-Lewin was very isolated up top. I think Everton only had 14 senior players fit. So there were things to take into consideration with that, but I don't want to focus it. I want to focus on Tottenham and the good things. And the defence was much better. Romero, having probably been at fault for the goal that Leicester did score on Monday night, redeemed himself massively, scoring that third goal, scoring the header. He loves it. I think he was the Premier League's highest defending goal scorer last season, scoring 5 goals, and he's already off the mark. First home game of the season, brilliant header, and he just cleaned up around the back as well today. He didn't put a foot wrong. He was really, really good, really impressive. But we have to talk about Mickey van de Ven, man, because every time I watch the bloke, he surprises me in new ways. His run to set up Son for that 4th goal from his own box all the way through to the other end of the pitch, laid it off to him perfectly, and then Son puts it in the back of the net. How many defenders, how many centre-backs in the not even the Premier League, how many centre-backs in Europe can do that? Because I'm not sure that many can. It's utterly phenomenal. And then, of course, defensively sweeping up, outpacing Calvert-Lewin on every chase in behind. It was a vintage Mickey van de Ven performance. And when he went down looking like he'd injured his knee and he was holding his knee and he looked in so much pain, I was frightened. I was frightened for my life. I thought we were going to lose him again for months, and I was sitting here, head in my hands, going, oh no, this can't be happening again. But luckily, he pulled through it. He came back out and he played brilliantly in the second half as well. Props to you, Mickey van de Ven. Amazing performance. Odegaard as well. Wilson Odegaard joined the team this week, has only had a few training sessions and was thrown straight into the starting 11 due to the absence of Dominic Solanke through injury. And in the first half in particular, I thought Wilson Odegaard was... I need to get up a dictionary to find adjectives to describe in a positive way, because I've used incredible, immense, immaculate. He was exciting. We'll go with exciting. He was exciting to watch. It was really, really nice to see a winger just run at their player and not care. Every time he picked the ball up, he wanted to go at his player. I'll be fair to the Dixon fella that played at right back for Everton. He had a really good game against him, and he's quick himself, so he did really well. But Odegaard as well, he was just exciting to watch. He had you on the edge of your seat every time he picked the ball up, and that is something that we've lacked at Tottenham for a long time. So to come straight into the team, play in front of the home crowd for the first time, I think he really enjoyed the situation and that occasion. And yeah, second half, yes, he dropped off a bit. Maybe it's a bit of a lack of fitness, or perhaps he just sort of fell out of the game a little bit. Maybe Everton started to double up with him over on that wide area. But I'm really excited to see what he's going to do for us going forward. And it's a testament to him, because Ange Postecoglou threw him straight into the game, despite only just joining up with the team. He's done the same with Solanke as well. So it's nice to see that we are getting players in that Ange really wants to take on board. And he had kind words about Odegaard earlier in the week. So he was another takeaway from that game that I thought was going to be really, really positive for Tottenham going forward. Let's talk about the captain. Let's talk about Heung-min Son, because I think rightly he came under a lot of criticism in the game against Leicester because he didn't really look fit. He was never really in the game playing on that left-hand side. He never really got too involved. His pressing wasn't amazing. He looked knackered in the second half. He was shifted into a striker role for today's game for most of it before he moved back out on the left towards the end, which ironically is where his second goal of the game came from. But his pressing was just top level. I mean, the second goal, the ball's played back to Jordan Pickford, and 9 times out of 10, that is a routine thing for a Premier League club. You pay it back to your goalkeeper, he takes a touch out. For a team like Everton, they want to get it down the pitch, and that's what he went to do. Heung-min Son, he put everything on the line, sprinted towards the goal to chase the ball down. Jordan Pickford's touch wasn't even that heavy. It was just slightly heavy in front of him. Son nicks it away and puts it into an empty net. And it was just much improved, and we see that with Sonny a lot. Regardless of to how he performs and what his form is like, he will always score goals, and he loves scoring goals at home. 2 on the mark already, so it's technically 2 in 2 games for him to start the season. You know, you see people online calling him washed or finished, or we should have sold him to Saudi Arabia and all that sort of stuff. I completely disagree. He is our captain, he loves the club, and regardless, he's still going to score goals. And you know, he did that today. He linked the play up well. It was really good passing in the triangles and through the gaps and in the intricate spaces on the pitch as well. Everybody just linked with each other really nicely. It was good flowing football, and Everton couldn't really deal with us. And I think partly that is because Kulusevski also came into the team, and he adds something completely different to Odegaard, who played obviously on that left-hand side. Kulusevski had that license to roam. It was almost like he lined up in the central midfield area, and then he was shifted out a bit wider to support Brennan Johnson on the right-hand side, but he used his strength, he used his ability to ride challenges. By the way, Dejan Kulusevski's ability to ride challenges, and when he's they're trying to put him on the floor, they're trying to take him out, Kulusevski can just ride the challenges all the way home, and he did that again fantastically today. Brilliant feet as well, dancing into the box for that first goal that Bissouma scored. I think he proved why he should be starting for us. And I'm aware that I've said this about a lot of players that should be starting. You know, Odegaard has a case for starting now. Bissouma, of course, case for starting. Kulusevski, case for starting. There's so many players, but the great thing is you've got that competition for places in the midfield. Pat Matasar and Bentancur obviously still to come back in. Bergvall and Archie Gray both came on late in the game. There's a lot of competition in those competitive areas for Tottenham, and especially across the front line now, with Timo Werner didn't even get a look in today. Richarlison came on, I think, for the last 20 minutes or so. So, you know, we're finally looking like a team that has depth within their squad. And look, forgive me if I sound like I'm getting carried away. I know that, okay, we can sit here and we can look at it from the other end of the spectrum and say we only beat Everton. Everton are really poor. Brighton trounced them at their own ground last week. But you have to play the good football and you have to take your chances. And it was difficult out there today. It was raining, it was windy, you know, first home game, pressure of not winning the first game against Leicester. The pressure was on Tottenham, and we delivered. And that, I think, for me, is the key takeaway, is that we delivered. Ange, we know, has been very vocal in the media about what he wants to do with the team, what his expectations are. And if we're going to live up to those expectations, we have to be winning games like this comfortably. And Manchester City would win this game comfortably. You know, they beat Ipswich 4-1 despite going 1-0 down. And it was just great to see that didn't happen to Spurs for once. We didn't go 1-0 down and we didn't have to fight back into the game. Okay, I think Everton had maybe 1 or 2 chances throughout the game that they perhaps should have scored, but there was nothing major, and we dominated from start until pretty much the end, scoring 4 goals, conceding none. I think it's the first clean sheet we've kept in the Premier League in a long time. Hopefully no injuries. Hopefully everybody's come through unscathed and okay. And then, you know, you move straight on to that Newcastle game next weekend. It was brilliant to watch. I'm really happy with how it went. I'm really happy with all the players. I genuinely don't have a negative word to say about any of them. I think Brennan Johnson really does need to sharpen up his end product in the final third, but he battles hard, he makes the runs, he has his teammates around him supporting him. But today is just all about the team. It was about bouncing back, picking up the 3 points, individuals having good games, linking together as a team and working well. And I just think we did all of that. We tick the boxes. We pick up the 3 points. Lovely little boost to to a goal difference, and it's on to next week. But what are some of your key takeaways from the game? What impressed you the most? Which players impressed you? Were there any particular moments in the game that really had you on the edge of your seat? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. We are continuing to grow on YouTube, and I'm loving producing this Tottenham content, trying to be as positive as possible as we get well into this new Premier League season. But for now, that is it from me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and as always, come on you Spurs.